Hey, Shalom Akim, Yahweh Bashim, Yahushai Bashim, Kwakadash, the bonus and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone rule well, and the Akim try to fall corners of the earth, preaching the gospel from Mashiach Yahushai in sincerity and truth and intelligence of mind. This is Brother Menashe DC Camp, another lesson to edify the hopeful elect in these times. Alright, so, yeah, the world is going through that phase, man. The phase of economic depression, economic recession. Yeah, so the outlook is not really looking good for a lot of nations that have not, how you say it, that have not been paying attention to the sign of the times that the Lord Abashimasha set before them, talking about spiritually, all right? So they're looking at everything as if it's going to get better, but it's not going to get better because it's the downfall of their rulership, is the end of Esau's rulership, including the heathen, all right? I'm going to read this precept from the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. So it says, "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." All right, so it's going to get into, what you call it, man. It's going to get to a terrible phase. You see all the troubles, going on over there in Europe, all the protests and all that stuff. So it's just a sign of the times, a sign that the end of Esau's rulership, right? It's approaching quickly. All right, you look at that, the same thing in Asia too. When you see all these instabilities, it's just that the Lord is letting His servants know that the end of the heathen's rulership, the end of the heathen's dominion, is coming to an end. Well, it's coming. It's coming true. All right, just to simply put it. So just have to take it, one day at a time, and you don't want to be in a rush, otherwise you're gonna get yourself overwhelmed. All right, so just wait upon the signs from the Lord. You don't want to be hasty to alter anything. All right, just like those so-called pastors that were predicting a Trump win this, a Biden win that. It doesn't matter what they predict, because it's all from the Lord. All right. So I'm going to play this quick precept. It's from the book of, it's from what we call the book of YouTube. Yeah, Esau's feeling the pinch too. All right, so he's going to understand that his kingdom is coming to an end, and he's going to be upset. He's going to lash out, all right, because, living in Babylon requires you to pay a fee for almost everything. All right, so here it is.
I'm looking at the longest time I've been out of work in quite some time.
Mike Jones has been managing restaurants since he left his job at the White House in the Clinton administration. But he has not had a paying job since the pandemic hit in March, and his unemployment has run out.
Tell me how you're feeling right now.
I think that with great concern right now.
He has put off his Pepco bill just to pay the rent on his townhome in Montgomery Village. He now owes more than $1,500. As soon as the Public Service Commission allowed it, the utility sent him a letter warning he was in jeopardy of disconnection.
How do you recharge?
Yeah, so that's one thing, that a lot of people have to deal with, even though they're gonna have to extend it, for months and months and months, but they want to get these people to pay something. But when folks can't really pay, they have to choose between how they're gonna pay the mortgage, how they're gonna pay their rent, the insurance and all that stuff. It becomes an episode of compounding problems. All right, so a lot of folks are gonna be depressed. They're not gonna be sleeping good. They're gonna be feeling like jakes. I'm talking about these Edomites and heathens, man. They're taught that by them drinking out of the cup of Babylon's so-called prosperity doctrine, where all dreams come to be fulfilled, where you can make it in life. They're realizing it's not so, right? Because Esau has other plans. The elites of Edomites have other plans. They're also announcing that they're going to have to bring back the restrictions. All right, so restaurants are not going to be able to function as they once were able to. and it's going to be terrible. This is just the state of Maryland. Haven't really looked up for Virginia, for DC, in fact, the whole nation. But it's going to get ugly anyway because all these governors are on board, man. They're on board with the agendas of the elite. So they have to go in line or they get, shown, the window to the next, to the next phase. All right. 6 foot under. So that's how messed up it's going to be. A lot of folks think it's just financial, but also psychological. So you just have to accept the battle, between light and darkness. All right.
Those laptops in the dark, much less take care of your family, and what are the health risks?
He is far from alone. Pepco says 132,600 customers in Montgomery and Prince George's are behind. He is far from alone. Job at the White House in the Clinton administration. But
This time I've been out of work in quite some time.
Mike Jones has been managing restaurants since he left his job at the White House in the Clinton administration. But he has not had a paying job since the pandemic hit in March, and his unemployment has run out.
Tell me how you're feeling right now.
I think that with great concern right now.
He has put off his Pepco bill just to pay the rent on his townhome in Montgomery Village. He now owes more than $1,500. As soon as the job since the pandemic.
Yeah, just Satan interfering with the recording of this lesson. But it's all part of the journey you have to deal with, man. So, old man's about $1,500 in the hole when it comes to his utility bills and all that stuff. But you have to also look at personal debt. Does he have any payday loans? Does he have any credit card debt and all that stuff? How long has he been going to the pawn shop, to sell his other items he can't do without, all that stuff. He's got to sell some items. And that's exactly what, he's going to be doing. Definitely, Esau is going to be online applying for jobs, putting up his resume. Because when the green is not coming in, he has to find a way to go get it. So just have to understand that's the pattern that's coming up on Babylon, all right? So I'm going to get a quick precept. It's going to be from the book of Haggai. Haggai chapter 1 verse 6 says, Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. And that's the curses that's coming upon these Edomites now, man. That whatever income they're able to bring home is not sufficient. All right, and then you see the video of people lining up for food assistance in Texas, miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Basically, curbside pickup. They stop by and then open up their trunk, and the volunteers drop the food items in it. So that's America for you, man. Folks didn't really think that's what was gonna get this serious, but then you see these Edomites, they're experiencing it too. They used to laugh at Jake, go get a job, make something out of yourself. So now they can't really brag because now they see how corrupt and how evil the system is. And they're beginning to wake up. They used to think Jake was a so-called conspiracy theorist and all that stuff. And now they see the sign, they see the writing on the wall that America is over, right? So I'll play the video some more.
Pandemic hit in March, and his unemployment has run out.
Tell me how you're feeling right now.
I think that with great concern right now.
He has put off his Pepco bill just to pay the rent on his townhome in Montgomery Village. He now owes more than $1,500. As soon as the Public Service Commission allowed it, the utility sent him a letter warning he was in jeopardy of disconnection.
How do you recharge those laptops in the dark, much less take care of your family? And what are the health risks?
He is far from alone. Pepco says 132,600 customers in Montgomery and Prince George's are behind on their electric bills.
A good number of those people are in the restaurant community, and they have families.
Maryland had extended its moratorium on utility cutoffs until November 15th. That is this weekend. But Pepco now says it is just sending formal disconnection warnings starting next week, and that it won't cut anyone's power until January.
Our message is very simple. Disconnections are the last resort, so we want our customers to call us, let us help them.
If you put on a 12-month payment plan, could you pay that and still afford the rent?
No.
The company says there is local and federal money to help desperate families, but it...
And that's the reason why the Lord has to get rid of Babylon, man. Because these utility companies, man, it's just a for-profit business, you know. So it just shows you how backward Esau's system is, and that's what's going to drive a lot of people crazy in these last days, man. You know, folks worried about the heat, heat not being available. You know, they can't get no heating oil, they can't get no electricity, they can't get no water. So basically, they're returning them back to so-called Stone Age. And, wow, man, it's going to be ugly. Yeah, there's no other word I can use. It's going to be ugly here in Babylon. So I'm going to read from the book of 2nd Ezra. Yeah, because they always like to, you know, they used to make fun of the men of the Lord on the highways and byways that, you know, that it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So here it is. So 2nd Ezra chapter 15, I'm going to read from verse 56. So it says, like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. And the mischief is coming upon this Edomites heavily, man. You know, it's just so hilarious when you see them on the news talking about their struggles and their worries and all that's affecting them mentally, financially, socially, all that stuff. I'm like, welcome to the club. You know, it's to make fun of Drake. You know, that's to have 3 jobs, 4 jobs. Because Jake, you know, basically knew exactly what it required of him to have a job, but his Edomites always want to bet that one job will save them all. But hey, it's not possible because the system has to be, you know, destroyed. And it's gonna be a bitter pill, man, for them to swallow. Verse 57, thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. So it's gonna get violent in these last days. Very, very, very violent. Thy cities shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. So they're going to turn against each other, just like Isaiah chapter 19 talks about the Egyptian against the Egyptian. That's Babylon for you. That's America. And the so-called government officials know it. That's the reason why they're preparing. All right. So verse 58 says, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood. Right? For very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Right? So when the utility is no longer servicing locations, certain geographical regions, people are going to get cannibalistic. All right? So that's one thing, you know, you don't want to be exposed to, man. This negative vibration the Lord Shemashah is about to dump upon these Edomites. That's the reason why we tell brothers, you have to repent, you have to hold on to faith. Or you can't let the prosperity of these Edomites, you know, deceive you. All right? And then all of a sudden you're not prepared. So you just have to, you know, look towards the future, you know, in the name of Amashak Yahushai, because he's on his way. All right? And then another precept is going to be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 47. It says, come down, Isaiah 47 verse 1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Yeah, so that's American dream is gone. It's already evaporated, right? And then verse 2 says that take thee millstones and grind the mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Yeah, so America is getting exposed to the world, man. You know, I see people lining up in their cars, standing in line just to get food from the food bank. And man, it's just like it's something you basically see in a refugee camp, you know, over there in Africa, over there in the Middle East. Yeah, so just America is just getting there slowly and slowly and slowly. Verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. And that's the curse that the Lord is going to bring upon America, you know. Famine and earthquakes and violence and all that stuff, man, you know, civil war. It's inevitable, okay? And then you see how World War III they have to deal with. Yeah, it's one, you know, it's the barrage of courses, man, you know, constant attack from the Lord, all right? So another precept is going to be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 28. All right, Isaiah 28, verse 20. It reads, for the bed is shorter than that a man can stretch himself on it. Right? For the bed is shorter than that a man can stretch himself on it, and the covering narrower than that he can wrap himself in it. So nothing's enough, man. No matter how much they bring in, it can't sustain them. All right? They could try and try and try. It's not going to be sustainable to live like that. So they're going to turn into the animalistic side. And that's part of prophecy. All right? So that's just the point that I can, man. Don't want to get, carried away. Because the famine is real. You know, you're going to see a lot of people's fridge being empty like this, man. And if you're a man of the Lord, your fridge is empty like this, don't worry about it. The Lord will always provide for you. So that's just the point that I can hope you've been edified. Just pray that your faith gets stronger and stronger in these last days. Shalom.